Hey, you got some Celtics players taking that walking shame, boy. About to go to the press conference and talk about it. 8 wins in a row. Let's go, Detroit. Let's rock, boy. The Celtics, dog. Hey, welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Goodness, what a victory for those Detroit Pistons. It wasn't just that it was a win, it was that they blew them out, and they did it in Detroit fashion. They held them under 100 points. The NBA's #1 defense over the last 8 games is these Detroit Pistons, man.
#1.
JB Bickerstaff, he's already locked up Coach of the Year. Argue with your mama if you disagree. I don't care. That's not for me. That's between y'all. These Detroit Pistons, man, it's so much that we could talk about. But I want to start here first and just say shout out to the fans because the environment was epic. Hey, those that showed up, that top 10 in attendance, last night was epic. And some of the people that were in the arena from other places were like, you know what? Detroit might be back. I'm like, y'all are just late already. JB, let's see that one, man. They had a couple nice defensive stops at the end of the first half, and Malik Beasley was getting the crowd amped up, bro, and it was epic. Let's run that real quick before we get going.
I think I got it. I think it's this one.
Mike's still up. Look at LCA, man.
That place is packed out.
That is beautiful, bro.
And they watched them force a shot clock violation.
Violation.
I don't think I ever heard LCA that loud.
That place is rocking, bro.
Dog, and you know what? First, that environment is insane. Just the basketball in me that just wants to break that play down. Malik Beasley knew at the end that he could sell out on the three-point shot because if you look at it, he takes a look up at the shot clock first and realized if he passes it, the other guy has no chance at getting a shot off. So he went over and just lunged. And that's the type of defense we've seen. This team putting together smart defensive plays, connected defensive plays, not giving up on anything. Like, this is what's spurring this team. And they said it multiple times. We heard from multiple players that they said those fans actually did make a difference for them. And you talk about this team trying to find a way to play in big moments in spots that they haven't played in. Only Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, and Malik Beasley know what this is like. But if you ask me, like, Ron Holland looked like a vet last night.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham looked like he's been doing this for 10 years already. Jalen Duren looked like he's been doing this for some time. But it's crazy when you think about Isaiah Stewart as the longest tenure Piston, and that's what, 5 years? So it's like, shout out to this Detroit Pistons team. JB Bickerstaff, he continued to talk about this is the standard. And he said, you know what? Yeah, this is what happens when we play up to our standard. And tonight we were close to that. Wait, a 20-point victory where you bludgeoned the Celtics is close?
Close.
Yeah, we just close.
That's close, Flannel?
It's certainly to us. It
How
felt
much
like
better can it be?
it can't get any better. A 20-point win over the defending champions who had most of their horses. I don't want to hear anything about Jaylen Brown not playing because Tatum was out there.
Yeah. And
Pritchard, Porzingis, Holiday, Derek White,
Schroeder
etc.,
didn't
etc.
play. Fontecchio didn't play.
Jaden Ivey's been out forever. But yeah, there's going to be a lot that we're going to talk about regarding this game because there's a lot to break down. But on an extremely macro level, to go off of what you said, this team, and it's showing it especially in these last 8 games, is becoming molded in the image of their head coach, JB Bickerstaff. We said it at the beginning of the year. His calling card was defense. His last 3 seasons in Cleveland, when they were a winning team, they were 5th in defensive rating, 1st and 7th respectively. But the question I think a lot of Pistons fans had, myself included, was do the Pistons have the dogs to really be that top 10 defense? Because, you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They, of course, had Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and they still do, and those are some twin tower rim protectors. But I'll tell you what, the Pistons do have those dogs because over the totality of the season, you've seen Isaiah Stewart be the best pound-for-pound rim protector in the whole bleeping NBA. You've seen Asar Thompson develop into somebody who I'm looking at as a potential defensive player of the year. I'm thinking that he should be 5 steals in less than 30 minutes. I'm talking about him as somebody who should be first team all defense. Will he be? Probably not because he hasn't played enough games.
He undressed Jason Tatum on the defensive end and on the offensive end last night.
He made Jason Tatum touch earth. We know what he did to Jason Tatum on defense, but even offensively.
You can cue.
He cooked his ass.
Keep cooking, Flannel, because you're cooking. But just, JB, I think you got that clip too.
Play it. I don't want to keep cooking. I want to see the play.
I'm so mad he didn't go up for the layup after that. I'm
all
like,
of a
dog,
sudden,
take the layup.
Everybody's like, bro, dunk on his
Guys,
bro.
It was the right basketball play. Come on, don't do that.
It was, but I don't want to hear that, man. I wanted him to finish that play, but it was amazing, though. It was amazing.
Last night felt like the Coliseum, and they wanted him to go for it all.
Yep.
That's what the fans were. You're right. The right basketball play, and Stewart went to the line.
You mean this clip right here?
He cooked Tatum. Cooked his ass.
Oh!
Come here.
Look, when Jason Tatum winds up, you just let that roll. Oh my gosh, you got the steal?
Somebody help my man.
When he winds up on the injury report, like sore knee,
right.
sore
Knee soreness,
right. Lower leg injury,
got taken from him.
Make sure that we post this like right away, JB Smooth, just so everybody knows. No, this is a real injury. This isn't just load management. He really got effed up right here. Like that was the post, man. We put, he did him so dirty, and like the way the broadcast view is, it's cool. But when the way that LCA puts those things up on their screen,
man,
I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years. You get some of the best looks at these crossovers, man. And Asar Thompson continues to just redefine what we think he's capable of. And the ceiling, that's what's made this team so good, is the ceiling of these other players. I thought it was just Jalen Duren and Tobias take that leap. And we knew, all right, Asar's going to be a point of attack defender. But what he's been offensively has just been, even last night, it was 7 points, modest scoring. But he just fits into this thing. Yeah. This wasn't as if it felt like they were playing 4-on-5 on offense. It's just that everybody else was cooking. Everybody on offense just seemed to just cook for this team, and they staved off 54% shooting on 23 or 26 attempts in the first half from 3 by Boston. They hit 54%, bro, from behind the arc. And that team still sacked up and beat them down by 20 points in the second half.
That's what was so impressive, because we know that I think the biggest lead that the Pistons had in the first half, it was a 43-28. And the Celtics, credit to them, they're a championship team. They got in fuego from 3, and that's putting it lightly, and they were able to tie the game at halftime. And a lesser Pistons team, a team without the backbone that they have, might have crumbled. Not only did they not crumble, they outscored the Celtics by 20 in the second half. They held the Celtics to 42 second half points, the defending champion. And in that third quarter, I know that there is a lot of good to go around with this guy when it comes to the whole game. Asar Thompson, because Jason Tatum was cooking in the first half, but in the third quarter, the way that Asar Thompson was able to put the clamps on him, the way that he was able to switch off when necessary and then go back to clamping up Tatum, that athleticism, that defensive instinct, that's just touched by God type of stuff. And it's honed by a JB Bickerstaff, but his athleticism, his defensive instinct is it's otherworldly.
Yeah, and he still contributed in other ways. 6 of 6 rebounds as well, man. Like
shooting from the field.
He just goes out there and contributes to winning basketball. That's why you love Asar so much. And his offense is growing before our eyes. He will be a better offensive player as the years come on, but you just absolutely love it. And they did shoot pretty well, the Celtics did, but you want to know how we counteracted that? We destroyed them in the paint. There was nothing they can do. 62-20 in terms of points in the paint. What are we talking about? They destroyed them in the fast break as well, 29-8. I mean, this Pistons team, when they're running, when they're in rhythm, getting up and down the floor, they are a very, very tough team to beat. You add to the fact that we shoot the 3 well. You add to the fact that we play defense. Everybody is on. Everybody is the synchronization, the way they rotate. It's just this team is on fire right now, man, and they are exceeding everyone's expectations, man. I absolutely love to see it.
And you know what? I love the way the Pistons send over the box scores. I'm going to bring that up because the shooting well thing, let's put that into context. We said they shot 54% from behind the arc in the first half, but overall for the game, they shot 42%.
Yep.
That means that the Detroit Pistons made some adjustments, and JB Bickerstaff did say that. They were like, what was going on in the first half, and how'd you guys overcome that? He said, we were effectively, remember how I told you guys? He'll step to the podium and say, they weren't following the game plan.
Yeah.
And he said it. He was like, no, we saw them. We showed them at halftime that their threes, check this out. Talk about not even wanting to give the Celtics the credit. He said, no, their threes was because of our breakdowns.
Yeah, our mistakes.
We didn't finish. We didn't follow the game plan. Then they went out in the second half, followed the game plan. They put the clamps on them from all over the floor. Everything that was working for them in the first half, it absolutely went away. It was non-existent in the second half. Jason Tatum, you don't matter in the second half. Your three-point shooting, you don't matter in the second half. Peyton Pritchard, you don't matter. It just was what it was. Derek White, that's about the only thing that they can walk away with. Cade had a couple times to dunk on him to continue the trend, and he didn't get those dunks. But you guys still, I think that when you look at this team and you look at, when we talk about the ceiling of it, when you look at guys like Asar Thompson, that's where the ceiling gets to go even higher. Because most of what we believe this team could do would be if the veterans continued on and if Jalen Duren took that leap alongside the Cade Cunningham, but instead we're seeing a lot of these young players on the team, including an Isaiah Stewart, still giving you major contributions, and not just major contributions to this team. Like back in the day, it used to be, okay, we got a lot of dogs on the squad, but they don't necessarily show up in the league stats, but there are dogs. We know what they're contributing to winning. No, Isaiah Stewart is showing up as one of the best rim protectors and paint protectors in all of the league. Asar Thompson is showing up as one of the best defenders and point of attack defenders and leaders in steals in all the league. Jalen Duren is showing up as one of the tops in dunks per game in all the league. Tobias Harris, during this run, has been the top player in the NBA in plus minus.
It's
insane.
true. It's insane, but it's true. And speaking of Tobias Harris, we got to give him credit for last night as well. 16 points,
He been balling,
9
bro.
rebounds. I know Chase loves that. A couple of blocks as well. And
This month he has been balling.
I'll tell you what, too.
He has been
when
balling.
it comes to Tobias, and I know that there's a lot more to talk about defensively than just Tobias. Like I said, we're going to go at this as long as we can, and we're going to be all over the place. But when's the last time we've seen Tobias Harris be this engaged defensively? He has been locked the F in.
You know what? That was, I think, my first 3 or 4 tweets of the game, because I live tweet him at Detroit Koolaid, and I was like, yo, he's locked in, because you know who he started off defending, right? And everybody said, is KP, is he going to play or not? Is Porzingis going to play or not? Because he didn't play the night before, and obviously there was some lingering injury. They said he came out there to play, and I was like, all right, Tobias versus KP, that's your key matchup. If they find a way to deal with that to start the game, then the Pistons are going to have blowout level success early in this game. And what did you see Tobias doing? On one end, making sure to keep Porzingis in check. He was defending him in a way where everything seemed to be falling just short, and Tobias wasn't biting on the pump fakes. That was the difference in, I think, their game last night. They seemed to really stay in. They packed in the paint, and they didn't bite on pump fakes, and it allowed them to be able to just kind of play good defense and have a presence on whoever they were defending. And that allowed the Pistons to get into their best offense, what they call defense to offense, or grabbing that rebound and getting out into the break. Like, the Celtics looked like they showed up to a track meet that they didn't know that they showed up to.
Yeah.
And the Detroit Pistons were like, we don't care. Like the Celtics look like, yo, we weren't ready for the gun and then to start running. The Pistons like, we just don't care about that right now. You better start running or you're going to get rolled over. And they got rolled over. They were not ready for the Pistons' physicality. They weren't ready for the level of hustle that the Pistons brought. They weren't ready for the level of sideline antic and energy that JB Bickerstaff brought. He was on one. Like, players walk by him. If he's feeling it, he's chirping. And I'm just like, dog, let's
They
rock.
wanted that game.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, everything from top to bottom with this team, these guys are fighting and they want more. They're not sitting back, like, satisfied. And they stated that. Like, no, man, we need more. We're not satisfied right now. And shout out to Cade, too, getting a lot of attention. He uses his stage to highlight the other players. He highlighted Isaiah Stewart and Asar Thompson as their pillars on defense. And he called Asar Thompson the best defender in the NBA.
You know, that is a heck of a cliffhanger because we have to remember we got to still take breaks. I know I want to go forever on this, but let's talk more about Cade and the rest of the Pistons.
Mellow Yellow.
When we come back, because
my boy Mellow Yellow.
Because there is so much love to go around, and even though Cade didn't have his best night shooting the basketball, he was incredibly impactful in so many ways, and still, despite not having his best game shooting, still led the team in scoring. He is just impervious to bad games at this point. But first, tell us about merch.
Definitely. Let me clear up some of these super chats we got going on right now because we have a ton of them. And like I said, we appreciate every single thing that you give and you donate to us on our way and our goals to making it to Vegas, as well as the donation goal as well too, that we're giving away some stuff. So let me start this off right. Rando Smalls, $5. That dude from Boston last night, Walsh, is he an alien?
Come on, Rando.
I mean, he might be. We don't really know. I don't really know. Shout out to Phil once again, sending in $1.99. He just said, "Go Pistons." What's up?
Hey,
John sent $1.99 in. He said, "89-04 Pistons had those intros. Bring them back." I agree with that. What do you guys think? Bring back the intros?
I think that this is one of those things where, you know, like,
they need their own.
They had to win the division. The Lions had to win the division, and they got the black jerseys.
Yeah.
I think that you cook up in the playoffs.
Cook up in the playoffs.
This, and them young boys, they're earning it right now. That's what I would do.
No, I agree with you 100%. Because, and this is where I have to add just a tiny bit of levity. We are on a high about this team, as we should. Their improvement is, you can't put it into words enough. And they just culminated that by beating the defending champions by 20 on their home court, and they're not done. However, teams like the Nuggets, teams like even the Celtics are still, even the Milwaukee Bucks are still looking at the Detroit Pistons as like a team whose cheeks you can pinch. It's not going to be for long, but in terms of bringing back introductions, I agree with you, Koolaid. Get into the playoffs, do some damage in the playoffs, maybe get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and then all bets are off.
Look, they're tied with the Bucks for 5th. They are just shy of the Pacers for 4th. Yep. And you know what? They're going to have a great shot at that.
Absolutely, they are.
That's what's up.
51-4 seed looking
I'll
good.
tell you what, KG, I was thinking about you last night. I was thinking about you. When they
Yeah.
beat the Celtics by 20, I'm like, are they going to win 51 games? Was this man a prophet?
I might be.
A prophet, an overcorrecting prophet, that is, but a prophet nonetheless.
But look, I was playing like some shit, man. Yeah, so I had to correct. I had to get right. But thank you for my team for bringing that up, man.
Look,
This
that's
is why
I tell y'all, look, that last 27 games, when they only had 27 games left, they were 18-9. And now it looks like they want to have a better record these last 27 games at our All-Star break than they had prior. It's insane what this Pistons team is doing now. We got a lot more to talk about.
We got a lot more to talk about and a lot more super chats to get through as well, too.
Are we at
we're not at our goal yet of $50 daily, but hey, we're getting there. We're almost there. And shout out to Nobody for sending in $5. I know Michigan is a football state, but man, when we're good at basketball, that feeling is unmatched. Go Pistons, go Blue, go Sparty. Shout out to you. $10 from Trent over here sending in, quote, "But who have they beat? The MF and reigning champs." That's who.
Yeah.
Great show, fellas. Shout out to Trent, man. Burns sending in another $5 super chat. NBA has no idea how to handle a team that wants to play hard in the paint, who hustles with an ethical superstar who dies for the balls and fights. Man, shout out.
He's just an ethical hooper, man. No foul baiting. No foul baiting.
No foul baiting.
He just goes and does work. If you don't want to give him the foul call, he'll still drop 30 on your head. You give him the foul call, he'll drop maybe 40 on your head. I think he'll get that 50 if they continue to give him those foul calls.
Inject that into my veins. You got any more super chats? Or?